Alright guys, so if you're fairly new to the beat selling game like myself, you might be asking some questions like, why are my beats so quiet? Why can't I get my beats loud like everybody else's? I'm doing everything everybody's telling me. I'm leaving headroom for the artist and I'm putting it up on the platform. Why is everyone else's beats sound so much louder than mine? And I just now realized this, and it annoys me a little bit that it took me this long to realize it, but when you put your beat up onto BeatStars, you have to have two different types of beats. You have to have the beat that you're going to send to the artist so that they can record on top of it, and they're going to add their own effects and compression and everything on their master. But the one that you want to upload for streaming, you need to add your own stuff onto the master to sauce it up a little bit, give it a little bit more life, give it a little bit more volume and punchiness. And I didn't realize that. I do that every now and then for some of my YouTube videos, but I thought that you were just supposed to upload the one beat that goes out to the artist. Been doing a little bit of research. Shout out to LLB. He taught me this little trick that I'm about to show you guys. It's just a stock plugin. We're just going to use Maximus today. I know there's a ton of other ways of going about doing this, but I've been doing this a little bit lately, and I found that it's making my beats sound a lot more of the way that I want them to be. So let's take a look at Maximus. All right, so I'm going to start us off in the first hit of the song. And you guys can see right here on my master, I've already leveled it and mixed it a little bit, and I'm leaving some headroom for the artist. It's hitting just underneath of 3 dB. And all that I have on my master channel is a soft clipper. You want to make sure that you have the soft clipper at the bottom of the chain, because that is what's going to cause this punchiness. And then right above it, we're going to put Maximus on. Cool. So we have Maximus open. You're going to want to tweak a few things first. You don't want to leave it right at the default setting. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to turn compression off from everything here. Low, mid, high, master. You see this little knob here, it says compression off. Just go through every single one. Turn the compression completely off on everything. You don't want any compression yet. When you master the beat, that's when you might want to add compression on, but for now, turn all those off. Cool. Next thing you want to do is come over here, make sure it's on low. You see the low cut. This is going to take out some of the low frequencies. You want to make sure you turn that all the way down. Otherwise, it's going to mess with the punchiness of your 808 and your kick. All right, and then after you've lowered the low cut, all you want to do is go over here to each band, low, mid, high, master, and turn the ceiling all the way up on each one of these guys. We don't want this to stop any frequencies coming through. We want the soft clipper to be doing all the work. That's why we ended up turning the ceiling up on every single band here. That way those frequencies can pass through 0 dB, and then the soft clipper will actually be clipping the sound. Cool, so after you've done all that, you can go ahead and save this as a preset. That way you don't have to do that every single time. This knob right here is your stereo mono knob, pretty much. So if you turn it all the way to the left, it's 100% separated. If you turn it all the way to the right, it's 100% merged. What that basically means is if you turn to the left, it's going to be wide. It's going to be out here in your ears. If you turn to the right, mono, it's going to be more centered. The sounds are going to come straight at you this way. With low end, you generally want things in mono, but I've already done that on the mixer, and most samples nowadays are already processed to be in mono, but just something to look out for. It's not really changing much in the track, so I'm just gonna leave it there. The next thing that you want to do is, this is a saturator. If you turn it to saturation mode A, which is the left side, if you turn the knob to the left, it really brings the low end out. So we're going to go ahead and see how that sounds with the track. And you can also see right here that green is what's being boosted. If I take it down, you see the green went away, so there's not much being boosted. And then this saturator, as I turn it, you'll see it go up. All right, cool. So now we're going to move on to the mid. This is where you do want to mess around with the stereo separation. This will help make your sounds in the mid range a little bit wider, but you don't want to go too overboard. Let's go ahead and play and see what we can do. That sounds pretty good to me right there. All right, we're gonna do the same thing to the highs. We're gonna widen those out a little bit as well. Then we're gonna saturate it a tiny bit as well. That sounds pretty good to me right there. All right, lastly, we're gonna go to the master. And here, we're also gonna saturate it just a tiny bit. It actually sounds really good turned all the way up. And then the very last thing that we need to do is mess with the post gain. This line right here is 0 dB. So we're gonna push those frequencies up and into the soft clipper. But make sure you're using your ears as well. You don't want your sound to just be completely squashed and just have this one like flat volume and have things distorted. You still want to have those dynamics, but pushing it up into the soft clipper is going to make that soft clipper work, and it's going to make things sound a little punchier. So just mess around. It's some trial and error. Like I said, I'm fairly new. I'm still learning this. I'm not an expert in sound design or mixing and mastering whatsoever. This is just a technique, a trick that I learned to help get my beats a little louder. Let's go ahead and crank this up a little bit and see what we can do. All right, that's sounding pretty good to me. Yeah, this is one technique that I've been practicing a little bit lately, and I need to go back and do this to some of the beats that I have up on BeatStars and up on SoundCloud, because a lot of them are super quiet and they're not saturated. They don't sound as good as when I do this to my beats. So I'm gonna go back through and do all that stuff. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to another episode of Thresher Thursdays. Really appreciate every single one of you. I want to try and make more videos like this with some useful information and helpful tips, because as I learn, as I grow, I want to just give back to you guys in case there's people out there that don't already know this, or if this is a better way than what you're currently doing. Hopefully this helps you out. Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all doing the same thing. We're all working towards the same goal pretty much. So why not help each other and support each other and give as much information and tips and tricks out as possible. So that is my goal. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of that, because hopefully there will be a lot more coming to you soon. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.